I'm like, no, I really did click that button. Thank you. Oh, hey, we're live. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions. This is our 20th episode, but we're not doing anything special other than having opinions. So we're glad you're all here. Sounded like this might be a popular one. Cheers. I'm Laura Lavoie, of course, and I'm joined, as always, by Bill Perkins, who has opinions. How you doing today, Bill?
I'm doing all right today. It's a good day. I was just asking Laura how the weather was. She's back in Atlanta today, and still where I'm at in Western North Carolina, where it's actually kind of pleasant and breezy today. So that's why I was asking her if it was hot there, just to rub salt in the wound or something. I guess.
Very hot. It's very hot, and I'm only in Atlanta for another 9 months, so we might have maybe 1 month where it's not hot. So
February, is that what we call it?
Exactly. But the best part about me being back in Atlanta is we have all the internet now. So for everybody we're not going to be totally breaking up every time. So hooray! What you drinking, Bill?
I am drinking right now a Brevard Red Ale.
Ooh.
That is a red ale from Brevard Brewery.
Yes.
I got 2 of those lined up here, and then after I finish both of them, I have on deck a Deep River Limoncello Sour. I just didn't want to start with that because I figured it would make everything taste weird afterwards. So,
It probably would, but it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I'll tell you how I did it.
I went with all tropical beers today because I was in the mood. So this is a brewery out of Athens, Georgia, Creature Comforts, and they're Tropicalia. So for that reason, I put it in my tiki mug. Where's my tiki? Hi, tiki.
Yeah.
But after that,
to the pets thing, Creature Pets.
Yes, absolutely. This one does not. Well, unless you call your dog Voodoo or Ranger. It is the New Belgium 1985 IPA, which is also super tropical.
That is a
pineapple
really good
and mango.
I'm not an IPA lover, but I like that one a lot. Jay left a handful of those in my refrigerator, and I finished them off yesterday, actually.
They're really good.
They're really good. So yeah,
I just bought some new ones here, well, because I ran out of the ones we brought back from Asheville already, and we've only been back since Saturday, so we drank an entire 6-pack.
You didn't bring enough of them.
Apparently not. Well, I bought another 6-pack. All right, folks. We had a lot of attention when we announced what this week's show was going to be about. So it sounds like people are at least genuinely interested that we're going to talk about pets. And I will tell you, folks, I know for a fact that Bill has a lot of opinions about pets. I have been in many conversations. So you're in for a treat. Let me just tell you that. So start us out, Bill. Give us your monologue, your opening statement. Pets.
So the thing about pets in me is that I don't usually choose my pets. I have pets thrust upon me is what happens in my life. My wife loves animals. She always has. So as long as we're together, I will have pets that I don't want. However, I'm a Capricorn, and we take on responsibilities. So they, eventually become my problem, and then I deal with them. I'm the person who gets up in the morning and feeds the dogs. I don't have any dogs, by the way. My wife has 2 dogs. I get up and feed all the dogs. The cat, I'll say the cat's ours because I like cats. Okay, they're fine. So I will claim the cat. My wife also currently has a bird that she just acquired. And we'll talk about that. We'll circle back around to that one in a little while. About the bird. I don't dislike the bird. I'd always been kind of trepidatious because my aunt had birds when I was a kid, and they seemed like they just kind of tore the house up and threw seeds everywhere and shat all over everything. So I was really like, I don't want this in my life, And I used to jokingly say 2 things. I used to jokingly say, she could have a bird or a monkey when we had like a greenhouse, right? That you could keep them in. You know, like when you go to the aquarium and they always have that room. It's like a jungle, and they got the birds and the little tamarins jumping around the trees.
Yep.
Anyway, so that was my idea. Like, we're gonna have a big room. It's gonna have like, you know, banana trees and palms and orchids and ferns and shit. And there'll be monkeys and birds flapping around, and you can put them in that room. Fine. I just don't want them in my house. So I finally relented on the bird thing, and I'm sticking to my guns on this fucking monkey though. That monkey can live out in the greenhouse. I'm not having a monkey flinging feces, you know, being a little jackass. You know, but yeah, and the monkey thing is, you know, because you know that song, the Bare Naked Ladies song about if you had $1 million. So if we had $1 million, she would want a monkey. And I always say, well, you can have a monkey when we have $1 million, because at the point when we have $1 million, we can have a really nice fucking greenhouse or arboretum, if you will, to put them in. And they can hop around in the trees out in the arboretum, and they won't have to be my problem. Although they will be my problem, because everything becomes my problem. Anyway, that's how I feel about pets. Everything. To that end, I want Laura to play this one slide I sent her. That to talk about the pets in my life. There's this one slide I sent you earlier today.
Yes, let me get there. Sorry, I won't post those comments before they went away, but
one of our dogs.
So here is the slide, and I think this is a very important one.
So my stepdaughter brought home this little dog a few years back, and it's like she still says to this day it's a Chiweenie, but it's not. There's no weenie in it at all. It's part Chihuahua and part some kind of terrier.
Yeah, she's definitely a terrier of some sort.
Yeah, she likes to dig. Like she tries to dig for moles all the time. So I know she's a terrier, but she's mostly Chihuahua. She actually most of the time she's just an asshole. And she's the weirdest looking little thing. But I saw that picture today when I was looking for pictures, and I was like, oh, look, it was Mary Jane when she was a little baby. And I thought it was kind of cute. And she's kind of cute in her way, but she's an annoying pain in the ass also. But here's the thing. Here was what was important about this picture was if you go over to the side here, because this is when my wife posted it on Facebook, and it says, because we don't have enough going on, Alexis Kiera thought she would be helpful and add more to our plate. So my stepdaughter brings home this dog, and if you read down further, my wife comments, as long as she doesn't become my responsibility, she is cute.
Those are famous last words.
And that is why I clipped that picture to send to Laura.
Because I would like to point out how much she is definitely not Alexis's dog anymore.
No, she doesn't. Yeah, I mean, like Alexis might say hi to her, and that's about it, you know.
Also, since we showed her baby picture, though, you also sent me her adult picture.
That's what she looks like now as a grown-up. Yeah, she's the weirdest looking little piece of shit dog. But you know, she's just an asshole. And I was jokingly telling my son the other day because she walks around the house she's always in a bad mood, and she like barks at all the other pets, you know, and just like and always mad. And I said to him, I said, the reason that I said she's reincarnated, like she was actually like Hitler or something in her life.
And now she's mad that she's an annoying barky dog.
Yeah, she got reincarnated as a piece of shit little pissant dog. And that was the punishment for being Hitler. And then she's probably, because she's not learning anything, she's going to get reincarnated as a wasp.
Then she's going to get smashed or something.
So that's my theory on that dog. Yes, but anyway, that's my life. I don't pick pets. Pets get thrust upon me. So there, yeah. No, I have to caveat that I've had a couple pets I did like that I did pick out actually, and then I've had a couple that other people brought into my life that I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that, and those are turtles. Those are turtles.
We got, is Turtle the same turtle you sent me?
That's one of the turtles.
Because all it said was turtle. Let me get to that picture.
Sorry.
Oh no, I forgot to upload it. I'm sorry. There was a picture of a turtle. So folks, imagine a picture of a turtle.
It's a red-eared slider, which are native to Florida, however, are common in the Carolinas because people bring them here as pets and then let them go. And so anyway, my son, apparently his grandfather got him this pet turtle when he was, I don't know, what was he, 8? Something, 7 or 8. He had this turtle, and it was like the size of a $50 when we got it, right? It was just a little thing. And it was in one of those stupid, like, kidney-shaped plastic tanks with the palm tree in the middle, which are not. If you have a turtle and you have it in one of those, you're cruel. Get rid of that thing. Go get a real tank. Those are terrible. I know they sell them as turtle tanks, but they're awful. So anyway, we got it. We got a nicer tank for it. And kept it. This is the funny thing actually. So we had this house. And it was this really old house. It was like built in the 20s or something. And it got really cold in the wintertime, right? So the turtle, I guess a month had gone by and I hadn't seen the turtle in a while. And my wife was like, oh God, the turtle's dead. Like one weekend when the kids, she was like, one weekend when the kids aren't here, you need to clean that tank out and throw that turtle away, so it's not not a thing, right? And so I did. I went to go get it out, and what I found out was that the turtle was hibernating because it got so cold in our living room.
Aww.
That at night, it dropped down to like 30-something degrees in our living room probably, or at least in the 40s, and the turtle just went into hibernation. So there was, and what I did was I cleaned the tank out, and I added some warmer water, and then I went and bought a light to go over the turtle tank after that, and the turtle was fine. He'd been asleep for a couple months. That turtle got from $50 size to about maybe like this over the course of several years. I want to say 5 or 6 years. And then we finally did what everybody else does, and we went and let it go in a pond locally. So this turtle actually lived there.
You broke up there for a second. I think we missed part of what you said about the turtle.
Oh, I was just saying the turtle lives in Lake Louise in Weaverville. If you go there and you see a turtle with red stripes on the side of the neck, it could be my turtle.
I'll actually do that. Lake Louise is not far from where I live in Asheville, so I'm going to go on a turtle hunting expedition when we get back.
So, I want to say that the turtle did have a name because I know I sent you a picture and it just said turtle.
Turtle. I thought that was just his name.
Well, the name was contentious because apparently it had several different. It had been called Yertle, and then it had been changed because this was my son's turtle, and so he would change the turtle's name when he had a new interest.
Right.
It was turtle related. So it had been called Yertle, and then it got changed to Koopa Troopa, I think was the name. So I just, I quit worrying about what its name was because first off, turtles don't respond, and secondly, you kept changing it, so it wasn't important really. But I wanted to say I had another. So we had a tortoise also. We had a I want to say it was like a Brazilian red-kneed tortoise or some shit like that.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was okay. It was one of the smaller tortoises. It doesn't get big. So this is the problem with most tortoises is you can get a lot of tortoises. So here's my thing. Tortoises are less trouble than turtles, okay? Like turtles are minor trouble. Tortoises are no trouble. Like you can ignore a tortoise for months and months, and then you go, oh shit, I should feed the tortoise. And you just throw it some like squash that you like just cut up the squash and you got the ends or whatever the fuck. It doesn't care. It's like whatever. Yeah. So they're the most trouble-free animals. They don't make a mess. They don't smell funny. You know, the only thing you got to have for them is a place for them to exist, really. And we used to have this like big box in our we had this bay window in our kitchen, and we had this big like trough-shaped box there that the tortoise existed in.
Right.
And the only reason we got rid of the tortoise is because my wife at some point decided she wanted her window back, and so she found somebody who wanted the tortoise, and she gave the tortoise away. But she always used to like put on like she would go, "Hey, we should get rid of that tortoise because it's a big pain in the ass." And I was like, "Who's it a pain in the ass to?" First off, I'm the person who takes care of all the pets, and like it's the least pain in the ass of all the pets. Like it is never, honest to God. Like if you want to get rid of some pets, get rid of some dogs. Get rid of 2 dogs, and then we'll talk about how much of a pain in the ass the tortoise is. But so I love the tortoise and the turtle. Those were the 2 least aggravating pets we ever had. Yeah. Oh my God! Over the course of our lives together, we've had lizards, and we've had snakes, and we had the worst snake. We had this one snake. It was a Kenyan sand boa, right? And that thing. So here's the deal. It's called a sand boa. You know why?
No.
Because it lives in the sand. You know what that means?
Not
You have
near.
a pet you never see. You might as well have a tank full of sand because you aren't going to see that snake.
Just have a sandbox. You're like, here's some snake.
Hey, there's a snake in here, maybe. I mean, it's like
Maybe. I don't know.
Potentially, there might be a snake in there. Who knows?
Is it Schrodinger's snake? Is there at any given time both a snake and not a snake in the sand?
Yeah, exactly. You never know. Who's to say?
I don't know.
And I will say this about reptiles in general. Like you could easily have a statue of a reptile in a tank, and it would be the same thing as having an actual reptile in a tank because they never move. All they do is sit there. They like are the most pointless, boring. You know, it's all just a thrill of saying I own a snake or whatever the hell. You know, like, ooh, look at me, I own a snake. Burr, you know. I will say this. I learned this is a thing. Jay, if you're out there listening, this is a thing. Go to a reptile show, which is a convention where you may purchase reptiles. Really good place to meet goth girls because that is like 90% of the demographic at a snake show. You go there and it's all goth girls there by snakes and spiders.
That's reasonable advice.
They also sell spiders and scorpions at reptile shows. I don't know why. Those are actually invertebrates, but I guess it appeals to the same crowd.
So it's funny to me. So you and I obviously have very different pet experiences because, as you well know, I have had only 2 pets in my adult life.
Right.
Pets that I had as a kid don't count. 2 pets.
I want you to say we have some overlapping experiences, probably, because maybe not. I was going to suggest because I too have woken up in the middle of the night and stepped on a hairball on the floor, but then you have not because your cats do not have hair.
As it turns out, so I've had 2 cats in my adult life, and they were very, very deliberately chosen. And we had, in fact, I'll go get the pictures now, and then after I talk about this, I'll go to our station break, and then we can resume the conversation. But For 17 years, Matt and I had a hairless cat named Piglet. There's a little baby Piglet, or at least Piglet when she was young and healthy. Isn't she sweet? So I had no hairballs there, of course. And unfortunately, Piglet, she lived to a ripe old age of 17, survived 2 cancers, but we lost her a couple of years ago. And last year, we brought into our lives this little monster named Toast, who is a Devon Rex. She has fur, but it's very short and curly and doesn't shed. So I do not have hairball experiences. But I also have my pets have not been thrust upon me. I deliberately chose these pets with very deliberate criteria. In both cases, we traveled out of the state we were living in to get the cat. And though, one thing I will say is our cats travel with us. Bill has actually been on vacation with our old cat Piglet.
I guess
You had to share a hotel room with our naked ass cat.
Yeah, she's all right.
She's a good cat. She was a very good cat. Toast is also a very good cat.
Yeah, and we'll talk about my conversation break, but yes, Piglet was a well-behaved cat compared to the cat that I currently have. So
Piglet was a well-behaved cat compared to the cat I currently have. But your cat is younger than my cat, even, because Toast is just over a year old.
Yeah, hopefully it grows out of the pain in the ass stuff it's doing now, because I'm not having it right now.
I can bond over that though, because kittens. I mean, I had a 17-year-old cat. Piglet hadn't been a kitten for a very long time, so we forgot. And Toast is the last kitten I am ever going to have. I am too old for this shit. Way too old for it. I love her, but she needs to be a cat now. I can be good for me. Be good for both of us. All right. So we figured this episode we would have a very appropriate station break. So we want to plug one of our friends, in fact, my best friend, my BFF, Jill, who lives in Michigan. She has her very own business called Radiant Paws, which is a pet massage company. So if you have particularly dogs that need to be pampered and loved up, or need, they have arthritis issues or mobility issues or stress issues or, anything you can think of, Radiant Paws uses pet massage to make your pets good and happy and loved and feel better. So if you're in Ferndale, Michigan, you're going to want to check out Radiant Paws. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram or their website. So if you want to pamper your dogs and you're in Michigan, definitely check it out. She's doing like this. She changed this whole business model to be COVID friendly, instead of going into people's homes, which, none of us are really doing that right now. She's actually at a local pet business, like a groomer, I think. So you can bring your dog to her and she keeps safe and cleans and does all that good stuff. So you and your dog are safe and happy. So check out Radiant Paws online.
I got a question. So, do you think dogs are stressed out because people are home all the time, or do you think they're loving it?
I think dogs, for the most part, are loving it. I think cats are pissed.
Well, you go to fuck to work already.
Yes. No, that is something right now, because Toast has never not had people around, because we got her and I work from home. So Toast is like, but she's part dog. Like Devon Rexes are very dog-like in their behavior. So she's loving it. But a typical cat that expected to be home alone 8 hours a day and just sleep and do important cat business, they're over this. They're like, would you please leave? But dogs are thrilled.
So now I'm going to talk about cat for a minute. So we've had cats. I've had cats my entire adult life. I'm more of a cat person than a dog person, truthfully. So dogs are in my life because of someone else. I would have a cat anyway, probably. My ex-wife and myself got a cat when we were in college. We got a cat in 1993, 4, somewhere around there, 94, 95. We had this cat, and we had that cat for years and years. I mean, we split up, and then the cat went to live with her, and then the cat came to live with me, and then the cat went to live with her again, and then it came to live with me again, and then when it got really, really old, we were moving to an apartment complex, and the cat had been living with me. We were moving to an apartment complex, and we already had a dog that my wife had that I had to pay the pet deposit on. I just didn't really want to deal with all these animals in this little apartment. So then the cat went to live with my mom for a while. And the cat lived with my mom for like the last 3 years of her life, I guess. But this cat lived to be like 22 years old. It was an old ass cat. Like that was so I had that cat forever. When we got together, actually, my wife had a cat too. She had a cat named Bravo, who I don't know whether he was part Manx or whether he got his tail cut off in a fan belt related accident. But
Right.
he had a bobtail. I think he was part Manx or something though, because he actually seemed like, he was like he was built a little different. Like I think because his butt was higher up in the air than the front of him, and I think the Manxes are built that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
To make up for the balance thing with the tail, I think, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if a cat just had their tail cut off, they would still have the general stance like a cat, but they would just be really confused.
Yeah, no, he was arched in a funny way. He was a jerk too. My wife always just jerk cats. He loved bread. He would like if you brought bagels or a loaf of bread into the house and you didn't put them in like the bread box. He would smell them through the bag, and he would tear the bag open in the middle, not on the end. Like it would be fine if he just tore the end off and ate the heel of the bread, but no, he would tear the middle of the loaf out, and then the whole thing would go stale. And you discover it 2 days later, you'd realize, oh, all the bread's stale. Okay, And so he did that. And in addition to that, that was not the worst thing he did. The worst thing he did was he would jump up on the stove and take a piss on the stove eyes.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it until one time I turned the stove. I was like preheating the eye, to boil some water.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
And I was like, what the fuck smells like cleaning supplies being burned? Because it was just this ammonia, just
right.
Oh my god! The cat is peed on the fucking stovetop. He was the worst cat. So he disappeared. Actually, he disappeared when the cat from my ex-wife came to live with us. He disappeared the same week. I don't know whether he just didn't want to be like in a multi-cat household or what.
He's like, fuck this.
But I was frankly sad. I was not sad about it because I was like, that cat was an asshole.
He went from this to this.
Yeah, that's totally what he did. So anyway, then after that, so my stepdaughter Annabelle got a cat named Damien, and I guess she had Damien for a while. He was a black cat, and he was a medium hair, but I think he was actually part ragdoll.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the best cat we ever had. Actually, he was the best one. But even after we neutered him, it did not cure him of his wanderlust. He still liked to go out and fight and trot around the neighborhood just like he was a regular tomcat. And so that's a thing. We had him for several years though, and before we got him neutered, actually, he managed to. Oh, sorry, we had this. So we also Allie brought home this other cat, feral cat. So most of my cats, like I said, people bring home things. So she brought home this feral cat she found in a parking lot that we named Aria. And before we had neutered Damien, he managed to impregnate Aria. And so we had this other group of cats. We ended up keeping 2 of the kittens. And those kittens, one of them actually looked like a rag doll. She was pointed.
Yeah.
She was long. She was like white with gray points and fluffy and would just hang. If you picked her up, they go limp. That's what rag dolls are like. Rag dolls are my favorite cats, actually. I've had a couple of even to back up, I had some rag dolls for a while. In my previous marriage too, the next door neighbor had some kittens under their porch, and the woman next door convinced me that her husband was crazy and he was going to kill them if we didn't do something with them. And I took them and fostered them for a while, and then I bet a year later, after I'd fostered those cats and then found a home for them, a year later, I saw him out on the front porch just petting this cat like it was the sweetest thing ever. And I was like, that fucking bitch.
Right.
That was a lie. So, she conned me. She knew I was the kind of sucker who would take a cat in.
Yep.
Oh, and then, so I'm sorry, where am I at? Oh, and so we had other cats. Damien sired 2 cats that we kept for several years, Daenerys and Joker. And Joker was also pointed and white, but he did not have he was a short hair that was pointed and white. And he was called Joker because he had this sort of goofy smile. It was the funniest looking cat. But anyway, he was the sweetest boy, and I loved him to death. Both of these cats actually disappeared at the beginning of the COVID thing here, and I don't know what foul end they met. They were outside at night. They were indoor outdoor cats, and so I'm done with having indoor outdoor cats because of this. Because we lost.
Good on you. As you know, I am a big proponent of indoor only cats. So good choice, sir.
Well, I've always kind of felt like, I guess I've kind of always been like, a cat libertarian. And I've thought the cat should have freedom of choice and do as they please. But I live out in the boonies now. And it's one thing when I lived, kind of closer to town. I mean, I guess they still killed songbirds or whatever, but I felt like, that's, that's just, they only kill the dumb songbirds. Like the smarter songbirds live to make more songbirds. So, that's the way I felt about that one.
Darwinism. It's natural selection at its finest.
Exactly. That's the way I saw it, But then poor Damien, who was the father of these 2, he got hit by a car because he liked to ramble, even though he didn't have any reason.
Right.
We took away his reason. I'll tell you this, cats have 2 drives. Those drives are to eat. Well, sorry, male cats have 2 drives, to eat and make more cats. And if you take away their drive to make more cats, they just eat mostly, and they get really fat. So Joker, once we got Joker neutered, like that guy, he became like, he was like 40 pounds overnight. Like, bam. He
wasn't that big. He was solid, but he wasn't like the, I don't know, just like those reality shows where they take the 800-pound people out of their house. Yeah. He wasn't that.
He wasn't a chonk really, but when you pick him up, you're like, holy cow, that's a solid cat, He
was solid.
Yeah. But so anyway, so those 2 disappeared back in February or March, and I was really broken up over it. And we wouldn't have got any more cats, at least for a while. But then these cats, a wildcat had kittens underneath the town hall, which is right next door to the Purple Onion where I'm at right now. And we kept seeing the kittens underneath the town hall, like in the little hole underneath the town hall. And my whole family, I guess because we had nothing better to do, my whole family was really concerned about these kittens and just kept trying to catch them. And
that never happened, although I did spend the night at your house once. Joker didn't, but we kept the door closed because I'm also allergic to cats, which is why we had a hairless cat, an almost hairless cat. So no, but he was solid, and he sat on my lap more than a few times, and I loved him. But no, he never did jump on me in the middle of the night.
So anyway, we ended up rescuing. Well, we tried to rescue the whole batch of kittens, but we caught one, and they were so feral that the one we caught like bit the hell out of my wife, like drew blood. And then she tried to come back and catch one of the other ones because we actually wanted one of the other ones more, like a sister she was like a gray tabby with long hair. And we really wanted that one, but the mom cat, like whenever you would catch one of them, like she'd come running out of the hole and be like, ring, And so my wife caught her like twice, the other kitten, and she would let go, like when she'd see the mom cat. She'd go, woo! Well, her and they were, and I was just like, no, once you get your hands on her, you just gotta you deal with it.
Yeah, you
like,
just gotta, just run
exactly.
real fast.
Exactly, because you go through all the trouble to catch this kitten, and it's not like they get harder to catch each time you do it because they get hip to you, They're feral cats. So anyway, so long story short, we got one of the three. Somebody did come back and catch the other ones, and they've been homed and everything, so it's all fine.
That's good.
Happy ending. They've all the mom cat's been neutered or spayed or whatever it is they do, and they're all in homes. I don't know about the mom cat might have been turned loose again because she's a feral cat.
Right.
I think there's a program where they just spay and neuter feral cats and then they take them to like barns or something.
For our viewers at home, it's called TNR, Trap, Neuter, Release. And that's why, so you ever see the cats that have the ear tip? That's just like one ear has a little clip on it. That indicates so that rescuers can see at a glance if cats in the feral colony have been trapped, neutered, and released. So they get their little ears clipped so you can see it real easy. So yes, maybe she was clipped and released.
Maybe. And I mean, in all fairness, like, there probably needs to be a cat under City Hall. Because, you know, I mean, it's just for the sake of rodent catching and whatnot.
Sure.
It's a good pest control, but I don't think we need one that's out there breeding. And so the whole anyway, the kitten, we wound up with one of the kittens and we named him Apollo, and he's a rambunctious boy, and he's one of those cats. I've never had a cat that did this before, but I was telling Laura before the show, like, this is the first cat in my life that likes to get up on the counters and knock shit off the counters and stuff. and also, to add insult to injury, like, that's aggravating enough. So my stuff gets broken. But also, he is nocturnal. He likes to sleep all day, and then he gets up in the middle of the night, and he runs around the house and knocks shit off the counters.
Oh, yeah. Those are called the kitten crazies.
Oh, my God. And then also, he does not like to be alone, so I can't lock him out of my bedroom at night, or he stands outside and he whines and he tries to open the door. But if you let him in, he spends all night running around the bedroom knocking shit off the countertops and keeping you up all night. And he also bothers the dogs. Like, he keeps waking them up. They would normally just sleep all night, but instead he wakes them up. And then I guess he's a choreographer, and he has them doing their tap dance routine on the hardwood floors all night. And I'm like, we're not getting any sleep because of this damn kitten.
So it's normal kitten behavior, I will tell you, and he will probably grow out of it. But so we were incredibly spoiled with Piglet for a long time because she just adapted. She's like, no, I sleep at night when you sleep. I also sleep during the day when you're awake, but I'm only up for a few hours and we're good. But she would like make us go to bed. Like, it was 10 o'clock at night and she's like, all right, peeps, time for bed. And she would herd us into the bedroom and then make sure we went to bed. And she slept all night with us. So Toast doesn't do that for the most part. But every once in a while, she'll get a wild hair and just sleep with us in the bed, which is weird. But she does a thing that we call her rounds. So at night, she will go to bed, and then she'll get up in the bed and check on us, make sure we're in bed, and then she will go do important cat business all night long, and we never see her again. And then, but in the morning, when it's time for us to like get up and feed her, she gets back on the bed and is like, hey, people, wake up. So luckily, she doesn't keep us awake, thankfully. But although we have kitten-proofed the hell out of this house because. So you said Apollo had destroyed your stuff, right? Yeah. So as you know, we are tiki connoisseurs. We currently enjoy the tiki culture. We had bought, before we moved into this apartment, as a gift to ourselves for moving into the apartment, 3 geeky tikis, which is a brand of like, nerdy tiki things, specifically characters like Star Wars and Marvel and stuff. We had bought 4 of them, and we put them up on a really high shelf in our kitchen, and they were fine. And then Toast is a climbing cat, so she likes to be up really high, and she's learned to get on top of our kitchen cabinets and the really high shelf. So she doesn't actively choose to knock things off a shelf, I don't think. I think she just sort of is a little clumsy and will not accidentally knock things off the shelf, because she seemed as surprised as I was when this happened the first time. I was not in the kitchen, but I heard this massive crash, and I walked in, and she was standing on the top shelf, and one of the geeky tikis was smashed to smithereens. And I'm like, so I cleaned it up. And so I'm like, I think we should take the other 3 down, but yeah, maybe it'll be okay. About, I don't know, a month later, same exact thing happened. I've learned my lesson. So now I have 2. The worst part is we had 2 Star Wars and 2 Marvel. Could she have broken both? No, we have 1 Star Wars and 1 Marvel. Like, she couldn't at least give us a matching set. Damn it.
So I'm sorry. So because you would have figured out that at that point you might have replaced it with just 2 more of the same set.
Or we would have just had 2 matching tiki mugs. Now we just have 2 random tiki mugs.
Yeah, you do. You just random. Okay, well.
Oh, we replaced them with plastic pineapples. So she knocks those down. She can't really do any harm.
Right.
When they fall from that great a height, they smash with an amazing, it's incredible.
So this is unrelated. This is unrelated to pets, but it is related to the smashing of your tiki glasses. But I wanted to mention that. So when you smash glassware, glassware does not conform to the law of conservation of mass, because when glasses are smashed, there are more particles than there were than the actual glass. It magnifies somehow.
Yeah.
The worst one for this, this actually is related to pets. The worst one for this are those thin glass Christmas balls.
Yes.
And I mention it because cats love to knock those off the damn Christmas tree.
Yes.
And when those hit the floor, somehow or another, it's like 3 times the amount of glass that was actually in that ball is now all over the floor.
Yes. No, it's funny you mentioned the Christmas ornaments because last year was Toast's first Christmas, right? And she was still a baby. She was 6 months old. No, not even. She was born in April. So however many months that is, she was, whatever. A little over 6 months old. She was still a baby. And we had no idea what she was going to do. And we love Christmas. Love it. And Piglet was a good cat and never once touched a Christmas tree. Never once in her entire life, from kittenhood on, touched a Christmas tree. So we put up the freaking Christmas tree, and we specifically curated no glass ornaments. And we own a lot of glass ornaments, but we put the tree was at a corner. So if you actually looked, you would only see that 2 sides of the tree were actually, because we didn't bother in the back because we didn't want to put any glass ornaments. That damn cat climbed that Christmas tree every day. I was so glad we didn't put the glass ornaments on it because she would have destroyed them. But it did lead to the cutest picture, and it will be our Christmas card this year because it's adorable. And she's in the tree, and she's so cute.
Hey, so I know I'm late in the show, and I wanted to go ahead and get on the rest of my slides because I've had a lot of pets that we haven't talked about yet. So some of my good pets.
I've got. Well, we mentioned your bird. We should probably show the bird real quick.
Oh yeah, here's the bird. This is Gaia. This is a monk or Quaker parrot. They have 2 different names. We just got. She's actually only 3 months old. She's pretty cool, and we're teaching her to say, "Help! They turned me into a parrot." That's the first thing I want her to learn. Because I read a meme one time that said, if you have a parrot and you aren't teaching it to say "help! They've turned me into a parrot. What are you even doing with your life?
That's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's the one reason to have a bird. So.
This bird thing became a thing because of the Ren Fair. Really, when we go to the Ren Fair, there's a person there with birds, mostly falconry and that kind of thing. But he had a pet raven also. He had a raven, and the raven knew how to discern between $1 bills and $5 bills, and that got us very interested in we're still trying to court crows out on the deck to do our bidding. But the whole thing became a whole thing, and my wife was like, "I want a bird," The good thing about the bird is I don't really want the bird, but I realized by relenting to the bird that I've got myself like a carte blanche to do whatever the fuck I want for a while. Like whenever my wife tries to say like, do you need that thing? I'm like, do you need that bird? And then the conversation really, right? Like.
All right, so we got a few more pictures. So the rest of these pictures are all your more, what shall we say, unconventional pets. Like most of us think cats and dogs, but you sent me a few pictures of non-cats and dogs.
We had bunnies. We had bunnies for a while. My stepdaughter was in 4-H club, and she wants to be a veterinarian, by the way. She just went to college this week for the first time. And she's in biology right now, but she's planning to be a veterinarian. And so when she was in 4-H club back when she was like 11 or 12, we had all these bunnies. We bred bunnies. These were lion head rabbits, what they're called. They're mostly pets. They're not. I mean, I guess they are edible if you want them to be, but most people raise them
is if you try hard enough
with the right seasoning. But people raise these for pet rabbits. They're called lion heads because they got this huge mane. And we have one lion rabbit, and we bred these things called lion lops, which are mixed between lion heads and lops. And they have one ear that goes up, one ear that goes down, and they're so cute. But rabbit breeders are as stuck up as cat breeders are, and they they hate when you mix. They hate when you mix lions and lops. Like it's like a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. But they're like adorable. Like, why wouldn't? Like I'm just like I don't give a shit. Like they're like the rabbits. They're not worth anything. Who cares?
All right, and then you sent me this picture of Casper, the friendly goat. So real quick before you say anything about Casper, I have so many friends who have white goats who name their goats Casper. Because I think everybody wants to say Casper the friendly goat.
Well, the reason he was Casper the friendly goat was because he was actually the only goat I had that was friendly. Like his siblings were really standoffish. You couldn't get near him, and he was the one who would come up and like let you pet him and be friendly with you. So he really was Casper the friendly goat. And when I realized I was out there petting him one day, that's what I was still trying to figure out because we always name our animals. All of our animals always have like nerdy sort of names, like they're named after comic books or something like that, And my wife had been bugging me for a while, like, what are you gonna name those goats? What are you gonna name those goats? And I'm like, oh, it'll come to me. And then I was outside. I was out in the yard. He came running over to me to say hi, and I was like, oh, aren't you the friendly goat? And then I was like, oh, your name's Casper because you're the white. A, you're the white goat, and B, you're the friendly goat. And then I named his brother was named Hot Stuff, and his sister was named Wendy after the other characters in that comic series. Wendy the
right.
Hot Stuff. So that was the thing. After that, that basically sealed it, and I named my goats. I had 3 goats, and goats were okay, by the way, because they mowed the yard. I like pets that do something for me. Like
they have a job.
Don't just be a mooch, unless you're a turtle, in which case I don't give a shit because you're not taking up space really and whatever. Turtles are fine. But other than turtles, you need to have a job. So the goats were cool because they mowed the grass. I also had chickens for a while, and I was telling Laura before the show, I couldn't find pictures of my chickens for some reason. And I know I used to have a picture, especially of my rooster, because I used to tell people, I used to be like, hey, you want to see a picture of my cock? And then I would show them a picture of General Zod, who was my rooster. And yes, like I said, I name all my animals after comic book characters. So my rooster's name is General Zod. And all my hens were named like Ms. Martian and Black Canary, and I don't remember what all of them were exactly. I remember those 2. Ms. Martian was my favorite hen. She was easy to get along. And chickens were great too because you know what? Chickens, I like this. I saw a bumper sticker somewhere that said chickens are the pet that gives you breakfast.
It's true. And I love breakfast. We already did a whole show on breakfast, and you're absolutely right. So we have one more of your pictures that I want to show, but real quick, this wasn't on the itinerary, but I think it's an important subject. pet naming conventions, because you brought it up, right? All of your pets are named after like geeky related things, comic books, movies, something like that. I find it interesting how people choose the names of their pets. And if our fans want to comment, I'll too, or anyone else later watching the show on reruns. But I'm always interested in how people choose the names of their pets. So you said it's very geeky, and all your pets have very geeky names. It's funny for us. I particularly like names that are not names. Like I don't really want to name a cat Charlie or Teddy or whatever. Can't be a name. I prefer names that are either other animals or food. So hence, our last cat was Piglet, and our current cat is Toast. So yeah, I think it's interesting to see how and why people choose the names of their pets, because we have a lot of control over that. It's not even like children that unless you're Frank Zappa, you feel constrained to like some semblance of normalcy, I guess. But with pets, you don't have to be. You can literally name them anything. You can name, like, there's a cat that I follow on social media named Princess Monster Truck. And I think Princess Monster Truck is amazing.
Yeah. I used to have a friend who had a cat named Senior Kitty Boy, and I used to really like that name too.
Yeah. The favorite name a friend has had of a pet is we had some friends, another Bill and our friend Susan. They named their dog Dave, and I think Dave, like, I don't like animals named after humans, but if you're gonna do it, you need to give him a name that's not normally a pet name, and I think Dave is the name.
Steve and Richard are also good pet names for that regard. If you want a name that it doesn't sound like a name for a pet. I used to know some people who they were living in an apartment complex, and they had a wiener dog, and his name was Steve. And the reason was because they weren't supposed to have a pet in the apartment complex. And so if you shout Steve, they think you're hollering at a person.
Steve is actually, like, if I were to name a cat, a future cat with a human name, Steve is at the top of the list. I don't really know why, other than kind of like Dave, or one of my favorite online celebrities has a cat named Charles, because Charlie is a name you expect to be a cat name, but Charles is not, and I love that. All right, so before we end the show, I do want to, you also sent me this photo of another pet.
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog. We had him for a short period of time. So hedgehogs were all over the internet. This was back in, when was this? 2014 or so, maybe. Hedgehogs were taking over the internet. Everybody had a hedgehog, and she was like, "Oh my God, they're adorable." Well, they are adorable to look at, but it should be telling to anyone out there in internet land that an animal that is covered in spikes is not necessarily a friendly animal. So my wife simply must have one. And so she did the research, and we found a breeder over in Shelby or something. And finally, we went and picked up this hedgehog, and we brought it home, and it was cute as could be. They really are. They're cute as all get out. But so here's the problem. Sometimes my wife brings home pets that she wants, and then the pet bonds with me. And you've had this experience too.
Yes. I wanted a cat. Matt didn't want a cat. We compromised and got a cat. Matt got the cat because our last cat was 100% Matt's cat. And that sold him. He never wanted a cat. And then he was like, I love cats. Cats are the best.
So anyway, this always happens with my wife too. Like, she brings home these animals, and then they bond with me. The reason, because they wind up being my responsibility, and I take care of them. And they're like, "Oh, you're the person who takes care of me. You're my person."
Right. Exactly.
So anyway, the hedgehog bonded with me, and it didn't like her, and it didn't like anyone else. Like, I was the only person in the house it liked, and so she got over it real quick. And we found someone else who really wanted a hedgehog, and it went to another home, and it was fine. Although I will say this was a funny story that happened when I was trying to rehome the hedgehog. A lady called me. This little old lady called me one night, and she goes, yes, I'm calling about the hedgehog," and I'm like, "Yeah," and she goes, Would you consider trading the hedgehog for a teacup chihuahua?" And I paused for a very long time, and I said, "No, I don't believe I'd be interested in that at all." You can tell I was trying just to find a nice way to say what I wanted to say.
Aw, that poor little old lady. She just wanted to ditch her teacup chihuahua and get a hedgehog. Like, I wish I knew what that meant. Like, we could have worked that out. Somebody in the Asheville area would have been willing to trade, or like a series of trades. Like, there was a thing going around the internet years ago where, like, I have a paperclip. What will you trade me for the paperclip? And then whatever that was, and then you keep trading up. Like, at some point, someone would have a hedgehog and a teacup dog.
I got you. I could have got maybe a chicken or something for the chihuahua, and then I'd have been like, "Okay, this is okay. I'm okay with the chicken."
Exactly. Although I don't recommend doing that with live animals, but it could be fun.
I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
All right. I think just like every other topic we've ever had, we could literally talk about this forever, but we are running out of show, and we've got a couple more things.
This was nuts. Like, I didn't expect to be able to talk this long on it, but you said I had.
And honestly, I've got our little thing. We didn't cover half the stuff we meant to cover. We just babbled on about our pets.
There's like 12 pets I didn't talk about.
Exactly. Well, we could bring it up again. We always need more show subjects. So next on the list is mailbag, and we don't have any questions. And once again, I would like to remind people, please send us your questions. We want to know your opinions. We want to talk about them. Whatever you got, you can tell us we suck. We don't care. Send us something. Message us on Facebook. Send us an email. Comment on YouTube. Whatever you do, we want to hear from you. So do that.
Out there.
But I will take this quick moment to say, so not this coming week, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after will be a very special show. So we're apparently doing a very special show for our 22nd show, I guess.
Where I'm hooked on drugs.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Whatever, all those mid-90s or late 80s memes of very special episode. But more importantly is, in a non-pandemic year, Bill and I would be gearing up to go to our very favorite weekend convention. So we're sad and disappointed that we can't do that this year. So on the Tuesday before what would have been Dragon Con, we are hosting a very special episode called a virtual opinion con. We're most likely just going to talk about opinions and conventions. But either way, we've got some surprises for you, which I don't even know what they are yet because we haven't decided what they are. But I do want to let people know about that.
That sounds great. I had a joke and then I lost it. Never mind. By the way, follow up. The sour beer was really good. I probably would have liked it better had I not started with the red ale. They were very different.
Right, really, really malty and caramelly versus really lemony.
This red ale is kind of a little on the sort of spicy side.
Oh, all right.
It's not terrible. Like, they put something in it to kind of cancel out the malty, which I like, but it was just a very different palate than the sour. Like, they weren't good back to back, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think,
but they were good individually.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So things that are extra. I know you got something for us, Bill. What you got?
Okay, so somebody was talking yesterday on the Facebook about bumper stickers on cars, and it got me thinking about that because I never put bumper stickers on my car, and I don't because of reasons. And the reasons are, you're in traffic, and I don't need yet another reason for a person to hate me in traffic. You know, whether it's another driver or a law enforcement officer, I don't need for them to have any reason to dislike me aside from my driving. So I don't believe in putting like political slogans or sports team affiliations or religious slogans or any of that shit on my car, because like why polarize people that you have to share the road with? It just seems, I don't know, it seems counterproductive to me. And another reason I want to mention, there was one time there's this web comic I really like called Wondermark, and the guy who draws Wondermark, his name is David Malky, and he had a really funny bumper sticker he made one time, and it said, and I quote, "Bumper stickers are an ineffectual means of communicating my nuanced views on a variety of issues that cannot be reduced to a single pithy slogan." And that is how I feel about bumper stickers, aside from the fact that they also just cause problems. I passed somebody the other day, seriously, like yesterday I passed a truck with a QAnon sticker on the back of it.
Oh, God.
Way to announce to everyone that you're a fucking moron, I guess. Like,
yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, so anyway, that's bumper stickers. Fuck them, man. They're dumb.
It's funny you mention that, because obviously we have the same circles, a lot of the same circles on Facebook, and so I saw that conversation as well. And it was funny because as soon as I moved to Asheville, for some reason, I started putting bumper stickers on my car. I didn't even drive that often, but I was just like, more bumper stickers.
Oh, yeah. In Asheville, it's all breweries and like local food and some other like that kind of horse shit. Asheville cat weirdos. And at least those aren't very polarizing for the most part. You know, like I still stand behind my don't put your sports team, don't put what religion you are, don't put what political team you're pulling for. It's just a way to make people mad. You know, I know. I pass a truck with some political shit on it, and I'm like, this fucking asshole, you know?
Well, that's what I will say. So what I said on that Facebook post was, I had all these bumper stickers, but honestly, you would know 3 things about me. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, and everybody feels sorry for Detroit Lions fans. I drink a lot of beer, and I live and I like tiny houses. And literally that was the extent of what you would know about me based on my bumper stickers.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. All right. We are well past 2 minutes past the end of the show.
Yeah.
It's well enough. Look at us go. But, so that's it. So I guess we just want to close out this thing. So can you close out some endearing notes?
Opinions are the opinions of Bill, and they are expressly his opinions, except for the ones that she nods at, in which case I guess we share them. This show was engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie, and wouldn't be happening if she didn't make it happen every week. And I appreciate the heck out of her. I sent her those images last minute, like she was like, "Oh crap, don't do this shit to me." And I was like, "All right, sorry, you know," but she still made it happen. It's fine. Anyways. Yeah, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Feel free to leave hateful comments below. If you're on Facebook, we're here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Tune in again, and tell your friends to tune in again. Tell your friends what a bad time you had watching this.
Because we're ridiculous. Also, don't forget to drink while you're watching us, because that's when we're funniest.
That's right.
I mean, even if we're not funny, we are funny if you're drinking. We're funny if we're drinking.
If you were drinking, you think we were funny.
All right. Thank you, everybody, once again for watching another episode of Bill Has Opinions. We'll be back next week, and then our special show in 2 weeks. So look forward to seeing you all then.